when she was like wash my back and everything, she was like, "Oh yeah, this is the back,"
Yeah,
and I was like, "Yeah,
yeah.
Yo, I was so fucking hyped for that shit. I was like, it all comes full circle, and knowing that is the result of it.
Working out and shit.
Yeah, it's like it's the stamina, it's the look of it, it's knowing like, it just makes everything.
It makes you feel
better.
good when you do it.
Yeah, because beforehand,
exposing yourself.
like, cause I'm like, man, I really thought I was doing something back then, like, but I wasn't on shit.
I mean, and we was, however, like, it's all the confidence you bring to it. Because I look at Lil Duval, for example, and I'm like, Lil Duval be talking about, so I ain't go to the gym one day in my life, da-da-da-da-da.
That nigga rich.
And, yeah, I was just like, it's what works for you, Lil Duval. Like, goddamn, or not even what works for you. Damn him being rich more so than what he's happy with. Once you find yourself happy with yourself, it don't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I guess this is what it takes for us to be happy with ourselves, to get that gratification from women.
I think too, I think in those instances though, when you're someone like a Lil Duval, and you're funny as hell, and you come from the hood, but you're not one of the tall guys or that athletic and everything,
right.
but you're funny, people like you, you're entertaining, that's your strong suit. Every guy doesn't necessarily have to be The Rock to get bitches. You play to your strengths.
Yeah, but like, look at it. Like, nigga, I can make women laugh. I could do this, do that. It's just a matter of, am I happy with that being the areas of my expertise? Is all. Like, because if I was happy there, I'd have stayed there. You know what I mean? Like, goddamn, you get to a point where you just like, I don't know. I'm just thinking about it live as we're talking about it, and I'm just like, huh.
I still think, even in that instance though, and with a lot of these successful niggas, like, actually,
I know it's on your mind.
I was doing it. But like a lot of these successful people who we see, a lot of men, and they're not like physically fit. A lot of times they really only get women just because of their financial success, despite how they look.
I can't say that, cause like not knowing them and whatnot. There's a lot of men with financial success, so like.
I'm talking about as far as in our culture and the things that it's like the Lil Duvals or like rappers or that kind of stuff. Like they're not necessarily all jacked or like they hit the gym frequently.
Right.
So they are gonna get women, but it's not because of how they look.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
What say? You think you get bitches now because of your looks? But yeah.
Because Lil Wayne don't.
And I wasn't there. I don't know where I heard it. Some documentary video.
Biggie wasn't no sexy motherfucker.
But they saying the grills, like, well, to some people they like fat man. Yeah,
but you see what I'm saying? Though,
sexy to whoever.
But he wasn't no Tupac. Tupac was a physically fit man.
Yeah.
And they both got bitches, but in a degree in which made them more appealing to women in the grand scheme of things was their money.
Yeah.
A lot of times, because we all can get bitches, but what's gonna get you
I
more?
think it amplified it, because what do they say about money?
It gives you access.
That too. However, it also makes you more of what you already are.
True.
So like I think these things, the money just amplified the amount in which they got, and like like J. Cole said in one of his songs, like you get this much money, you'll never get left on red. Like it's almost a status thing, like that status that comes with you now, like what I mean, it's going to attract more women.
Yeah.
However, I believe it does just amplify what they already had. As far as like what was attracting the women to begin with, it just couldn't make them stick because you popping.
Well then, even still, like you get niggas who ain't never get no bitches before money, and then now they got money, now they get bitches.
Well, that's a different story. That's specific to. That's true.
Because to your point, it amplifies, right?
Right.
It's gonna amplify the bitches in your life, especially if you ain't got none or you had new girlfriends all your life and you start getting some money and then the bitches start coming around. That's what comes with it. You what they say, you get the power, you get the money. It goes on.
I forget which order it went in, but
something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that shit,
nigga. Shit. But happy day. Happy Monday. Goddamn. Monday is the beginning of the week and everything. Goddamn, how you been?
Man, I was gonna ask you, but I've been really good. Been kind of operating at like a mid frequency, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Which isn't crazy.
My mouth dry, motherfucker.
But which isn't too crazy. I got an opportunity. Not opportunity, but been back to work for the past few days. Got to spend time with a few different people, and just really like one of the conclusions that I came to just over the past few days was that like the like how you was talking about how the way your life is set up now,
right?
It's set up in a way where you're happy with it.
Indeed.
For me, I realized that what does bring me like happiness and the part where I'm the most fulfilled is when I don't have to worry about like such trivial things I thought would be like important.
Such as?
So, for example, this past since I came back home, I have been getting the influx of bitches for a while, and then these past few weeks, as I've gotten some, and I'm just like, man, I don't need it as much as I thought I did. Really don't.
Poignant point.
Really don't need it, and the time I was spending, with Shorty and another Shorty, like it was quality time, and I realized, and I said it before, how much I appreciated it.
Yes.
And doing it made me appreciate it more because it added a little bit more substance to what I actually enjoy to do.
I can agree. Yeah, I'm leaning more towards your appreciation of that kind of thing. Cause and I remember when when we was teenagers, I was 15, 16. It's crazy. My little nephew here, he's 16 now. He got his little girlfriend, man. Things changing, man. But when I had my I don't like that. But motherfucking shit. We used to talk about that kind of shit. We used to actually be excited about the fun things we do, or the romanticizing of our relationships. I forgot about it ever since because I've been a dog for a long ass time. And so
you love a dog.
Yeah. I was just this week, we got back to work after this week was up. So I did end up spending a week with Shawty and the lady that I have been discussing, who I've known for going on 3 years now. But the time that I did spend it with her, it just it was a good time, just laughter and comfort and just knowing who you with, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was very comfortable, and you start counting your blessings. We after all these years, man, I've been I can't remember how many ladies I've been with. It can get dangerous out there, and
Mm-hmm.
I made it out of that with no kids, no STDs. I feel like I gotta, how you feel when you get saved or some shit. I feel like I got a fresh start or something. You saved.
This nigga said, amen.
Real shit, nigga. And so, yeah, I can definitely feel that appreciation that you talk about when it comes to just, not only having great sex, but having great sex with a woman that is a quality woman.
Yeah, who's dope as fuck to you. To you.
And she's good to you, man.
Man, I tell you, that. And I mentioned before, but we said because we was gonna kick it again.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, what do you want to do? We can go out or we can stay in. And I was like, how about we just stay in and kick it? You know what I mean? So I got there. We had order food. We was watching TV and stuff like that.
Right.
We had wine and a little bit of Ciroc and everything.
Right.
We was playing
that clear, nigga.
Yeah, listen, I was feeling groovy that night, boy. It was, we was sipping and everything, and then we had the music going. We was dancing in the kitchen and stuff. It was it was. I love that kind of shit, And then and it was great,
And when I told Shawty, I felt crazy. We was going in. You see the bed, it ain't.
It felt crazy.
That joke was crazy.
Oh shit!
Real shit. And I was just motherfucking, that felt like the difference between sex and making love. Like, like that shit. Like we was in tune. Like we wasn't sitting there doing no romantic shit. Like we was fucking, but it was just like.
It was with the person who you wanted to
like,
do it with.
Like, yeah, I know your body. Like, like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just, it felt, it was a good time. And like, but beyond that, the laughter, just the cracking on each other, making jokes.
I'm telling you, quality time with somebody who you actually enjoy being around is just, you can't put
it's
a price.
Healing.
You can't put a price to it.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of times for me, in which I end up, I guess you could say, getting caught up in, is that the people who I'm doing it with, in the past at least, I wasn't able to like put boundaries on it enough to just keep it that way.
Right.
And with this, I find that I'm not really pushing the envelope too much. You know, I'm
control.
not. Yeah, I'm not asking to see her all the time. I'm not even looking to talk to her all the time. You know what I mean? Like, do you? And she has her own shit going on. And outside of me, whatever she does, it's none of my business. I don't even care.
Right.
And I like it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna sit here
and you know what the beautiful thing is? I know that that's how it starts.
Yep.
I know that's how it starts. So it could go where you let it go if you allow it to grow in your own time.
And that's what I'm saying. You know, and the more and more, like, potentially, I don't know. This is only really the second time I chill with this girl. It can go wherever from this point. But I do know in these two instances where we've been together, it's been great. Like,
yes.
And I value that.
Yes.
It isn't like with other homegirl, like, where, you know, she just come out of nowhere, like, what the fuck you? And it's like, that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm not even too, like, all right, cool. Like, that's not, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
But this, though, it's genuine.
Yeah.
You know, we were having conversations, and it was that's comfortable. You know, and it's fun. Yeah. Like, I don't say this enough. I don't see a lot of like women in my life. I don't say in my life, but I haven't really deemed a lot of women who I've been with 10s or close to a 10. To me, man, and every time I'm just like, if I was still a simp, I would have wiped this bitch. This bitch would have the cuffs on her. I would have cuffed that bitch. She would have been mama, daddy. I'd have been her uncle. Yo, she would have been everybody by now. But nah, these days,
you better introduce that.
I'd be like, yo, this is it.
I said, oh, this the one for the threesome?
Ruin everything. What?
I said, I did it for us. Nigga ain't shit. I never, dog.
I did it for us.
I never. That's some real shit.
How come now, every time I'm on Tinder and I see a fat bitch, I'll be like,
that's the one.
I be scheming. I be like, if we, I was like, if we match, she gonna get to part 2 for 1.
Yeah, 2 for 1 deal.
We Applebee's. She gonna get the 2 for 1 deal.
Get a whole app.
Oh shit. Cause you know what hit her. Speaking of which, I matched with homegirl too on Tinder.
Which one? Old girl?
I seen that once. I said, oh yeah.
That's where that came from. When I started.
Have a great body.
Yo.
Oh God.
Man. What am I doing, man?
But yeah, like that lately, man. Like that whole thing, like with Shawty and stuff like that. It was it's been cool. It's been real cool, and like I said, I value it. And it's like I said, it reminded me of when I didn't do a good enough job keeping it like that. I didn't hold my frame to just keep it that way. So I'm really trying to like see if this will be a similar situation.
Yeah.
You know, where everything is cool in the beginning, and then I'll be left with the choice, like, well, like, what are we doing from here? And I'll be like, hey, look, this is what we're doing.
Move back.
and we can either stick with this or I'm not doing anything else.
It makes me wonder. It begs the question: what is the balance? Cause motherfucking, I couldn't have looked back into. If I look back into the past with me and homegirl, right, and I'm trying to gauge just how I wiggle myself into this position, where it's perfect, and the timing was like smooth enough for me to transition into this stage of my life. I would say she did a lot of that work, and a lot of that work was her loyalty in that situation. Motherfucking, there comes that turning point where if y'all not even get along well enough, more so than if you are having sex with her consistently enough, and that's where it really comes in.
And that's what I mean. Cause like I said prior, I would just go for the gusto every time. I would put myself out there, want to see this person all the time, spend time with them more and more,
right.
Sex more and more. But I realized that keeping some things just reserved and not going full force is the best option.
Yeah, I was like, because at that time, like you described in the beginning, you said what she does in her meantime is none of my business. I don't even want to know nor care.
I don't even ask.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
Because when we're together, it's here
and
now.
Yeah, it's here and now. You shouldn't be asking what she's doing in the meantime. You have no place.
Yeah.
And that's how it was. And motherfucking, I forget when the turning point came where I realized that I care about that kind of shit, or if that was the case, it would affect me. I think a conversation had to be had where I was just like, listen, because I'm of the mind that dealing with me is a choice. I'm always upfront about what I'm coming with and what I want, so that you can decide whether you're going to participate in this. Because I'm not making you feel stuck in a situation. And you don't have to deal with me, and I damn sure don't have to deal with you. So, the thing about it that I had to address was simply that, listen, I know I'm not the committing type, and I know this ain't even, I've been on this path, and I wasn't even supposed to, you were never in the plans. However, now I feel like if you want to do your thing, you can't deal with me. That's it. If you want to, see other people and stuff while you seeing me, that's okay. I ain't mad at you. Live your life. Because I've been seeing other people, and I'm going to keep doing that. But if that's what you want to do, you can't fuck with me. You can't fuck with me. I'm sorry. My ego is just going to get in the way. And I don't have to have you in my life. I don't have to make it fair for you. My life's not about you. So that's what it came down to. And that's when the work lies on her. You know what I mean? That's a heavy workload for somebody else to take on, to want to be a part of your life. So that's where the change comes in, or that's where the evolution, you'll see it. And if you don't with this girl, it'll be nice. It may not even go that way for you. That's just how it kind of went for me.
And that's what I'm saying. I don't know where any of these situations could ever go now. Just because of what I've experienced just in the past 2 years, and the last year especially. As long as I know what I want, I was telling my dad this. I was like, it won't be a conversation for me until they make it a conversation.
Say that again?
I said it won't be a conversation for me until they make it a conversation.
The woman.
Yeah. Okay. So unless they bring it up to me, I ain't saying shit. But I'm always willing to have the conversation because it's important.
Unless you feel it.
Right.
Don't restrict yourself from...
but here's the thing. I don't.
Exactly. So I was about to say, that's all I'm saying, though. I thought you were going the route of just keeping yourself from even saying it if you did have a thought.
Well, not even, because I feel like just me naturally, I can't remember a time where I really...
initiated that relationship shit.
Cause at the end of the day, especially these days in the past few years, I just don't give a fuck. And I can say that with the utmost confidence because I know me at the end of the day. I was telling my mom this. I was like, man, I'm at the point now where and not to my own horn, but nigga, I look good. I don't really gotta. Right. I don't gotta complicate this shit too much for myself no more.
I just posted on Instagram, motherfucking, the story, Jones. I was just like, First of all, I didn't feel like being humble for that moment. Like, I was just like, nigga, I'm tired.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, like, my motherfucking, I was just like, and I'm fine too. Like, a bad bitch can't get over on me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine too, bitch. Like, that shit don't work on me. The same shit that'll make a, you know what I mean, like, nigga act nutty over you or willing to do some shit just because he ain't never had a bitch that look as good. I don't give a fuck about that kind of shit. Pussy's pussy, and it's on a ugly bitch or a good looking bitch every day of the week.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Every
So,
day.
like, I don't give a fuck about that. You saw me at the gym. I get turned off if you can't say hi back. I like manners, bitch. Like I hate you know what I mean? Don't feel like you too pretty to.
But that's what I'm
you know
saying.
What I mean? Open your mouth and say hi. I ain't say I want to fuck you.
That's what I'm saying though. Like the confidence to know that, like it really doesn't bother me. Like I'm not even looking to like even put my head in that space because once I put my head in that space, then I already know I folded.
Yeah.
I have no concern of what is outside of what me and you have.
Right.
And I remember a specific time with this one girl just a few years ago, like right around the time I stopped dating, and this girl I met off Tinder, and you know we were kicking it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I would always go over her house just for probably a month or two straight. We were really kicking it, and then stuff happened. We kind of fell out, and then I went to FaceTime her one day. And I saw some nigga in the back, some real shit, and I was like, oh. That's cool.
That's
like,
a pain in the ass.
You know,
Speaking of pain in the ass, I don't mean to interrupt. Yo, Kai.
Huh?
If you don't mind, I'm hearing the joystick analog Jones, and it's bringing a sensitivity to my shit. Don't play with leave the controller noise for now, because I don't want no noise in the background.
Alright.
Clickety clack.
Yeah, because I'm of the mind that we got an audio version too, as well as the video. Motherfuckers hearing clickety clack. They don't know what the fuck that is. Like, I was just like, we ain't having that.
But yeah, like she there's a whole nigga in the back and everything,
Yeah.
and I didn't, and even then, I found myself.
Stop playing with the controller. Like, put the shit down.
Alright.
Like, you can play on the phone, goddamn, but I can hear it. But
Like I found myself in that moment, like thinking, I was like, damn, I was like, whoa, I was like, well, yeah, I was like, that's the game. Like that's what that is. You know what I mean? We never said we were a thing. We just spent a lot of time together, but like. And I was like, and why would I even feel like I'm fucking too? Like, I don't really, and that's what really solidified it for me. You know, I went from as a boy dealing with a girl and being super insecure, being super jealous for her not to even have guy friends.
Right.
And telling her to leave all them niggas alone. You know what I mean?
Right.
To then being a young adult or young man and it's being like, well, if I could do whatever I want, she could damn sure do whatever she wants. Who am I to be like, you can't? And then nowadays, it's just like, it's up in the air for me. Like, I'm not, because to me now, that's another way of keeping me from even going into that monogamous mindset, because I'm just going to assume you just doing you.
Yeah.
Before me, during me, and after me. I'm just going to assume. So I don't even have to, begin to commit or be vulnerable, because
you're doing you.
I'm doing me, and the fact that you're doing you is gonna pull me back more. I'm just gonna assume that's just what even if you tell me it's not, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like I don't. Yeah. It doesn't even matter.
Mistrust. Now that's the thing that's slow. That's got me slow in this stage of my life, and of just like learning to allow people the opportunity of time, because I'm a person who, we discussed this, I see the result of things. I see the end. Motherfucking, so what's the point? What's the point of starting something where that's going to eventually end? And because like a lot of times you'll have people that have that naive mindset of forever, when like nothing does last that way. And so if this is going to end, what's the point of starting this thing if it's nothing but a distraction and I can't monetize it? That's always been my mindset, really. So it's been a waste of time. But like what is it, an element that I am kind of finding is bringing me in is like I'm choosing the lifestyle that is calm for me, that's working for me. Like there is a therapist that was mentioning something about that having that fear of like loss, just a fear, you know, like you can't like you can't stop the end of something. It's inevitable.
Right.
So not going forth with it just because it's going to end is moving out of fear.
Definitely.
So you
otherwise nothing will really get done.
Exactly. And you miss out on a lot of experiences in life.
Endings are beautiful.
Yeah.
Like everything needs an end. Like to something, nothing is truly like infinite. All things have to come to an end at some point, no matter how long they are.
100%.
Everything needs to come to an end. That's just like as if like someone's like, well, that's suicide.
What was your example that was about
suicide.
To be killing itself? He said it's just like if you died, but you did it to you.
But I was gonna say, like, that's just like living and be like, well, we all gonna die anyway. That's literally just suicide.
Bad example.
It's real. It's real. Like having that mindset is like,
what?
Honestly, man, like I'm telling you that, and you know me, I'm one to just like this to do it and see how it is.
See how it goes.
See how it goes, and that's what my dad was telling me. He was like, man, I was worried about you, in your last situation because I felt like you weren't listening to me. But then he was, I realized that and I told him this. I realized that you had to go through those things in order for you to. Well, I was telling him that I had to go through these things in order to actually learn what it is that you were actually telling me.
Right,
because
right.
If I'm just doing what you say, I'm not really gaining the information, if that makes sense.
Right. I get what you're saying.
I have to like see what is wrong.
I had jokes, but I'll take you seriously.
What's the joke?
Just like, because you know how fast the brain moves. It stemmed from hand touching the stove.
That's what I was just about to get there, nigga. I was just about to say that. That was my whole example.
Then I started making jokes about STDs. I was like,
fuck that bitch, you gonna get burned.
yeah. And then like it went from there.
But yeah, like your parents say not touch the stove, and you're like, but why though? What's wrong? I'm gonna touch it. Here I go.
My dad told me don't run in this kitchen. I saw him mopping, but I didn't know what he was talking about. Yeah, you're sleepy now. Go to bed.
Take your ass. I'll whoop your ass when I go upstairs.
Stupid. But you didn't even have to beat me. I was already hurt.
I fell on my ass. But yeah, like I was telling him, I have to experience these things.
Right.
And I feel like we all have to experience some turbulence, some stress, some resistance. It's the only way really gonna get you stronger.
Yeah.
In those moments where even when you do know better, sometimes you just kind of have to see like, well, maybe it's still like the other thing, maybe, just maybe. And then you get proved wrong, and it's like, all right, I was wrong. That's what it is. I'll take it.
That's love, man. This whole aspect of love, like, and it's because it has nothing to do with business. It has nothing to do with money. It's just balancing your life with what is good for you.
Priorities.
Yeah. And you said a word that was important when you was describing your afternoon with Miss Lady, and it was genuine. And you just want to make sure everything in your circle is genuine, because it's cultivating what is for you. Like when you grow, you get to go to the grocery store and get what you would eat. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to what is needed for the house. And so like, goddamn, this is that.
Yeah.
You just getting what you need to eat instead of what everybody needs.
Right.
Some pussy. He said, right.
I said,
he said, I had that shit up to my eyes. I couldn't see. I said, I came up. I was like,
he said,
amen.
He said, it's a slave ship.
I said, I'm about to.
This nigga said.
But I say that to say, motherfucker, what the fuck?
This nigga said.
You talking about form?
Hey, man.
said, Father, God, and the Holy Ghost. It's something like that. Jesus Christ and the Holy Ghost.
He said, Jonah was my nigga.
Ooh. Hey.
Oh my God.
Motherfucking man. Life is good. Life is good. I did realize too, I'm like a big part of my life feeling so good to me is that karmic energy that's coming back to you for just being a good person. Mm-hmm. Like I realized I am loved and respected by strangers, like people I meet and people that know me, and it's just like I remember how I used to want it to be. Mm-hmm. I used to like really prefer to be feared, and it was just like it didn't have the same effect on my energy. It didn't have.
It's a crackhead. We said, oh damn.
I was cracking up. I trim weed at the other job and shit. And in the room, I was cracking up because wait, we mentioned it. I think the other part when I was saying my nipples was hurting.
Me lactating.
My nipples was hurting, man. But like motherfucking adolescent. Oh, I was about to ask. You know what, man? Malachi. Did you ever experience that? Did your nipples end up hurting at any point in your life?
This nigga said, "What the fuck?"
I said, "Don't lie to me. It's cool." Like
he said, "My nipple."
Nah, man. Like, I guessed. My guess was maybe my nipples is just getting bigger or something. And, like they never did before, and that's why they hurt.
He said my nipples.
I thought that was part of my pubescent.
Oh my God,
them Jones was throbbing.
If that's your story, I'll give you one of my embarrassing stories, just so we're a little bit even.
Yeah.
I remember, just because of just watching porn so much, in your head, you think you just gotta have like everything shaved down there, right? Mm. And to this day, I perfected this now, but then it was the first time doing it.
Right.
Took it upon myself to shave down there the very first time, right? Didn't use no shaving cream, none of that. Straight razor the dick. Straight razor the dick, boy. Nigga, I walked into school the next day, all day. Irritation, scratching I'm like, okay, I go to the bathroom. I will go to the bathroom just to fucking scratch all this right here for like 5 minutes. Come back and be like,
once you take a breath, you breathe. It's like you breathed out of the pores.
That shit, it was irritated for like a week straight. Yeah. I'm never shaving that shit ever again. And then when I finally decided to, it was like actual like legitimate razors I could use. Yeah. The shit I used was not good for that.
I learned it's going to itch regardless. Like, but it itches a lot less. If you have if you get the preparedness, you shave.
I should don't itch no more at all. Like I said, I perfected it now. Like how I do it, like
I haven't shaved in like months.
Cause for me, like I don't know. It's cause when you have like a lot of hair, like like your smells and everything gets contracted down there and everything. I just want to be clean shaven, like all like that shit. Cause it's like I already have enough hair up here. I don't want all like the hair.
Yeah, see, that's the difference. That's my only beard.
That's your beard?
Yeah, I said, fuck that.
Your dick got a beard?
I said, fuck that. You ain't about to play me, bitch. I'm a man.
Oh, man.
That's what they used to call me.
That man is a
dick out. I said, my man's man. But,
I had this thought the other day.
What's that?
Who fucks tall bitches?
Me.
You said me, this nigga.
What the fuck is so funny to you?
He said, you fuck tall bitches.
Yeah. That's me. I ain't never known a tree I can't knock down. What you talking about?
Like a Paul Bunyan.
I love them. Like shit.
Oh my god.
This is one. Man.
Only reason I
love
ask,
tall ladies.
because at the job, at my locker, I usually I take a chair, I sit at my locker while I'm there. It's this like tall girl, like whose locker is like just a few. Her locker is a few down from mine. She's tall as fuck, and like I feel like sometimes she'd be flirting with me, but I'd be like, I would never. Just like I don't want to. And then a question, I'm like, I'm like, do even like tall niggas fuck tall bitches? And I don't know.
Nah, I pride myself on not being intimidated by a lady. Like, you know what I mean? Like, fuck that. Like,
I can go for like the same height, maybe even a slightly bit taller. But if you like towering over me like this chick is, nah, you got that, G. You'll be fucking me.
That would give me the shit.
Oh shit!
I said, oh shit! Hell yeah!
Amen.
Nah, but shit, man. Like, man, the benefits. Like sometimes, like I gotta buy a new bed anyway, but I got a low bed. Shoot, I can stand up in that. Like, oh my god,
saluting that pussy.
Right, like goddamn, I don't know, man. I just my thing with women, like I don't know, I got no picks.
I feel like your true definition is like no type.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I can say I have a type.
Yeah.
I do genuinely have a type. Like, will I step outside of that type? Obviously, but 9 times out of 10, I'm picking what I like. Like, shorty is like literally, like I said, exactly what I would want for a woman. Like, she's like, she comes like to right here with me, dark skin, just everything I said in the last shot. Like, fine, like just so fine, like everything I could ever really want. I'm not saying I haven't experienced women who are the opposite of that.
Yeah,
absolutely. But at the end of the day, if I really were ever to like just pick one, it has to be like that.
Speaking of which, goddamn, I was talking to an old girl and we was laughing about like just references to shit that we know 1-on-1 or some shit like that. You know, just references to shows that we've watched in our community and shit. And I was letting her know like, yo, it's refreshing to like interact with a woman who's black. Like, you know what I mean? A woman who's of your culture. Like, and
it's understanding.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a lot of stuff that can go unsaid there that just feels right. That like matches up because my first relationship that I at least took seriously when I was a teenager. Last relationship I ever took seriously.
First and last.
You know what I mean? Like, one and done. But like, motherfucking. She was Dominican, and like the cultural differences between what her family was like allowing her to do and what my family was allowing me to do, like really came between the relationship, and so like I like it's refreshing. Do you, and I bring that up to say, do you experience that kind of feeling like? That difference when you interact with different women? Do you see what you
I mean, all of the women I've ever dealt with outside of 2 have been black.
Yeah.
One was white and one was Puerto Rican. So for me, it wasn't. I've always been in that comfortable position.
So you didn't necessarily get to explore outside of that.
Like the white chick I was dealing with, like, she liked black things, like she was in tune, you know what I'm saying, but like she wasn't black.
Right.
But she understood, but that wasn't necessarily always just her life that she lived, you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
He's
do it again.
We potted.
So anyway, like we did.
That was crazy.
He said this. Anybody fuck tall bitches. That's crazy. I still want to know what was so goddamn funny, man. Like, he started cracking up. Oh, like, Wait a minute.
Just start being like me.
I was like, which angle is he laughing at this from?
The tall one.
Said, nigga, you tall too. You think you ain't already done?
Yeah, I ain't knocking down no bitch who fucking 6'5".
How tall is your girlfriend, Malachi? Is she shorter than you?
Yeah.
How would you feel though if she was like looking at you like eye to eye?
It'll feel kind of weird.
That's what I'm saying. This is what I mean. And I'm bullshit. This is what I'm saying.
All right, but that's okay. Now, expound on that. Why does that feel weird?
Like, I don't know. It just feels abnormal. Like, having them actually, like, right here instead of, like, right here.
You feel less empowered?
No. It just feels strange.
I'm gonna keep it real with you. I feel like this as a man that I can't necessarily. I'm gonna always display my dominance, but I have to probably do it a little bit more just because you're like just physically above me. Like perception is key, right? So my mom, she's shorter than us.
Yes.
But she will be the first person in my life who will fuck me up
if
I would ever do anything wrong.
Yeah.
Me and my brother. Like, for that specific reason.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she knows she's shorter than us, so, like, she's going to have to really put in some work. She's a disciplinarian, and she's in charge. She's the dominant force, right, in this situation. So she's going to have, she feels she has to display that.
You said perspective is key, right?
Perception.
There you go. I said perspective. I said perfection is key, right? Well, I'm perfect. So that's why.
The precipice.
Nah, but like motherfucking, for example, old girl that is tall, that I interact with, like motherfucking, she when it had been some time since we had seen each other. So when she had seen me again, one of the things she had said was she had remembered me being taller than her, and I'm like. I specifically remember you being taller than me. But that perception, the way a person sees you, and I guess that's why, like, I ain't got no pics, but like I also like I can't see myself trying to be intimidated by a woman's height or size or anything like that because like I want her to see me as like the man.
Here's the irony.
You know what I mean?
Here's the irony. I wouldn't fuck a tall bitch, but I'll be quick to fuck a fat bitch. I'll be quick to fuck a fat bitch.
Now what's the irony in that?
Because she's like heavier.
She's tall and big.
But I'm saying like no, but specifically if she's like just fat. Though,
yeah.
Like I'll be quick to fuck a fat bitch just because like. But a lot of guys would be intimidated because like she weighs more than the person she's dealing with.
Yeah, that and a lot of guys.
But for me, I'm just like, bitch, lay on me. I'm here for this shit.
You know me.
Oh shit.
Although it could go south sometimes. Like I had one big babe, like walk like that type babe, like
the penguin.
Like you know what I mean. But hey, but like sometimes like all the some toilet paper you'll find some toilet paper in the butt crack.
You'll find a hot dog, some chips, some syrup, type of shit. Bitch,
you brought snacks.
You brought snacks.
You done go.
Take that bitch to the movies any day. Put anything in her ass.
Look, this thing got a trunk full of shit. So what you need?
What you gonna do?
Got the chopper in the car.
All that junk inside that trunk.
No, but yeah, man, like, I can't. A lot of when it comes to big women, like motherfucking dudes will just act unattracted just off that. Like motherfucking real I mean, we talking shallow now. But like real shallow about the body and real shallow about like what it is that a woman has to have in order for them to be qualified. And,
I mean, well, we're all attracted to something, right? And a lot of things is what really just genuinely what turns us on.
Right.
Like I said, I like a lot of times like women, my type of woman to be like naturally like thicker. I don't really care. But then there is a certain threshold though where it's just like then it becomes a little less attractive to me for some women. Because then it's just like, you're not the fat that I like.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I can understand that. Like sometimes it's just because it could be specific. You've had different women, different bodies. The same weight on this woman might not be in the same places on this woman.
Yep, exactly.
You know what I mean? So like, it's like, it is
but
what it is.
when it's in the right places,
oh man.
I'll be trying not to wipe this bitch. I'm like, you ain't going nowhere.
Get no ass.
Shit.
You get to farting.
This nigga gonna say anything. Get the fart. Yeah. Do the splits.
Nah, you know it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Man, that was my thought. I was just like, who fucks these bitches? Like, cause they gotta get fucked. Everybody gotta get fucked. But who fucks them?
Shit. What is it called when you put the message out?
A memo?
Fuck.
Group chat? Mail?
Not at all, nigga. Just stop with your suggestions.
You the one who know what the fuck you talking about.
You said group chat? Mail? Your suggestions is worse than my forgetfulness. I don't even want to know.
I'm trying to help you out, nigga. I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
He said group chat? Mail?
Smoke signal?
Yeah.
What message? At a bottle?
Like a SOS or something, or public service announcement. That's what I meant.
This nigga mad at me because I know what the fuck you want to fucking say. Bitch, I can't reach your mind.
Look at those suggestions. This motherfucker said mail.
You said message. I'm just thinking of anything that I can relay a message.
Oh man. He said when you put something out, he said, "Oh yeah, I message." Nigga, I see why you mad at my face. Oh, Kobe.
Yo, I hope that made that shit in the video.
Yo,
I hope.
I swear to
made
God,
it in the video.
we gotta run that back there just to see that motherfucker. Cause
I had to make sure. Yo, I hope that made it in, because otherwise, because that's gonna be the promo clip.
No, yeah.
I
hate when people Kobe. Oh, that shit.
Yo, niggas is gonna be niggas, yo.
Rolling.
Niggas gonna be niggas. They don't want to listen to nothing you gotta say. Fuck them.
Yeah, that's why. So you never hear anybody tall that?
Only ever like the tallest I've ever been with a chick. She's been like my height at least.
That's crazy.
At least, but besides that, they've never been like above me. Like I don't like that shit.
Hey man, listen. I spent a week with old girl. She's not taller than me. Like this lady who I'm calming the horizons for. Like goddamn, I just what is it? Since she had been over, I hadn't been watching porn to beat my dick. Clearly, because I had her company.
Right.
And so like
kind of counterintuitive.
Yeah, precisely. Like, you know what I mean? It's your job now.
Hey, what you doing?
right. Like motherfucking, but yeah. Given that, it helped give me a nice boost into like no fat.
Right.
You know, like and boy, man, I feel like I got a brand new dick. Like that shit crazy. It's crazy. That power is.
I'll tell you, nigga, it's
I
strong.
got the power. Amen.
Yo, I'm telling you,
That shit crazy.
that's what it was like for a homegirl like the other night. Like,
I was like, what's come over me?
I thought I was killing this bitch.
Yeah.
I thought I was killing her.
Man.
Yo, I was like, cause you know how it is. Like, as many times you've done it, there's a moments where it was like great, and then moments where it wasn't all that great.
Yeah.
This is one of those times where it was great, and I was like, man, I ain't.
Yeah.
This bitch going
well, you know you hit the bottom of that shit. Oh my God, splash. I was like, yeah. And we back it again. Like, motherfucker. It's like pushing their limits at that point. Like, you seeing how long they could go.
Right.
Like,
her whole thing was she kept stopping me. She was like, I don't know if I can do this all night. I'm like, listen, I was like, if we stop now, I was like, you're gonna wish we finished now.
There's a reason we ain't got that cover up, you know. I gotta do it was crazy. The bit off, bro. Like, it was crazy. That joke. Crazy.
That joke. Great.
But yeah, crazy. Man, like this, so I'm going to try to stay on this regimen of not looking at porn.
I'll tell you this.
Nothing.
I'll tell you this. So with that, it's gonna be a point though where you're gonna find yourself wanting it really bad, really bad, like to the point where you're just gonna just be throughout your day just looking at it, in some degree, right? And everything's gonna remind you of it, and then you're gonna come home and think that's gonna be the first thing you're gonna want to do. And then you're gonna wake up and do it again.
This is ironic.
And then it's gonna be that all over again. So I'm saying that to say this, right? Because I'm saying it because I've done it. You have to remind yourself what it is. One, you're doing it for, the benefits of it, and what it means if you were gonna do it again. It's right. Now it's a mental thing.
Now I'm gonna come at you from this angle, because I've faltered many a time. Many a time. Like, before you. Like, you know that I've tried and failed time and time again.
I'm saying this just because, like you said, and this experience that you've had, though, is a little bit different.
Oh, no, that's why I was prefacing it with that, because, like, this time, it's only different to me because the feeling is different. Like, it's not even a thing of physical, more than mindset. My head is different. My head is in a different game now, and so I feel more. It's less motivation, more discipline, and I was saying this ironically to say that because in the last episode I had caught myself, right, like when I was talking about the moving out and the pitfalls and the things you might run into, and then I realized, you know, these are things that I ran into because of my choices and my own mistakes. And so when you wrap that up in, because those are things that you've done, it reminded me of that point that I had made of, I can't necessarily say that you'll run into the same pitfalls as me. And while I can appreciate, just like you did, the advice, because there will come a time where it's more difficult than it is easy. I have a different mindset towards it now, and I'll take the meat and leave the bones when it comes to the info.
And you're right about that. When it comes to certain things that we've experienced, we're always gonna want to share our experiences, just for the simple fact that, one, we care, and you just never know.
Right.
But what I do know, and a lot of the research I've done just on like porn addiction and masturbation and all that kind of shit, like it comes more of a problem when it's those moments that are going to happen. They happen frequently. Right. And it takes a while for them to actually be subdued, because you're not that's not where your mind is anymore.
So just steal what my dad did and substitute it.
A lot of times it has less to do with you're substituting it, but you want, the idea of it is that when, like, pornography and masturbation, they only lead to less motivation and laziness. The proper substitute is to have motivation and to be productive. So,
but that's what the substitution would be.
That's what I'm saying.
Productivity.
So that's what I'm saying. A lot of people will begin to be like, to substitute it with a whole other vice.
Oh no,
on some stupid shit.
This is my substitute.
You know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I'm doing this right now.
Or they'll substitute it with just getting women. But that defeats the purpose.
I was about to say that too. Like, however, like, that's why this is also very convenient. Just because, like, I know me and Miss Lady, I could we have an understanding. I'll put it that way. And what is it? It all comes down to choice. And so I could choose to do what I like and what I want. However, I know I'd be happier with the choice of just kicking it with the same vagina.
Exactly.
And so, like, I am enjoying the discipline.
And that's one of the points I had on here, that the grass isn't always greener, and that I don't really need to fuck as many bitches as I thought I would. Mm-hmm. Especially at these past few weeks, I'm like, man, like, all this time of me thinking like that's what, like, was gonna give me value, or like the ego boost and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. in reality, and I keep reiterating it because I find it to be more true, is just like, I just enjoy like the quality time with a woman who I see to get that from me.
Right, because
And
everything else almost feels like a waste of time.
yeah, and it's like, if I'm just fucking you to fuck you, sure, it's cool. I'm the man. All that cool shit.
Ego for the day.
Whatever. I don't get no satisfaction out of that in the long run. For real, I don't see you much as an interesting person if all we're doing is fucking.
Right.
It's just like, we just fucking.
Exactly.
I don't care about you. But it means a little bit more to me when we can go out on a date, we can have a night in, we can listen to music, we can fucking like chill.
I want to make you happy, basically.
Yeah,
like,
and it's
I want to
like,
show you a good time.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, and if us fucking is a part of the good time, that's the cherry on top for me. That's the cherry on top for me. I'm not like, cause I know it's gonna happen anyway.
Yeah.
That's not crazy of an idea for me anymore. We're like, we gotta fuck. Like,
Yeah,
it's whatever now.
We've been there at this point.
So like, when I get a chance to do it now, I want it to be just a little bit more meaningful. So now, and I said this before, that to me nowadays is less quantity, more quality.
And that's what I was
is.
saying earlier. Like, shoot, I agree with your point. You had said something about like sometimes you knock it out the park. Sometimes, you know, it is what it is. Either way, the common denominator between both of those times is the pussy. You got it.
Yeah.
But like, motherfucking. And I said, which I hope the video got as well, when it felt like the difference between having sex and making love. Like, we was tearing it up, but like we was just, so it felt good to just be tearing it up with somebody who you you know what I mean, you really fuck with.
Just that phrase,
tearing it up.
I'm just over here like, oh, I tore that shit up.
Dog, like, woo! You know what you know, like,
Man.
like, you know what you was putting down.
We tore that shit.
Yo, we over here. Yo, get happy, dog.
We was letting it rip. Tear that.
I said, start cutting up in that shit.
Bitch ain't no hitter.
Start hitting them angles.
Oh man.
I'm mad I just did. I said. Nigga, jackass.
Oh,
but
man.
yeah, man.
And I think
I totally agree.
I think too, to even for me to get to this point, like I started reflecting on like my monogamous journey throughout my adolescence, and then going into like the single dating scene, and then going back to like, you know, having this one person, and you know, it's shown me that like I said, the grass isn't always so greener. Like I what I enjoy is what I enjoy. I'm always gonna be able to get women no matter what, just because naturally of how I look, and then secondly, just my personality and everything else that comes with it. It's gonna be there no matter what.
100%.
And I have the ability to not even let it be my focus anymore.
Yes.
You know,
because you'll always be a great person.
Yeah, no matter what, and I don't have to even worry about no bitches I dealt with in the past. I don't even got to worry about no bitches I'm necessarily even dealing with right now, because it's like, what Dre say? Women, they come, they go. Saturday through Sunday, Monday through Sunday, yo.
That's
Maybe I'll love
up.
you one day.
I'm gonna let you do that.
Like, nigga.
I'm gonna let you do that, but that's fucked up that you said what Drake said, and then you said Devontae took from
It's
Eminem.
But for me, and when I first heard it, it was Drake. But then when I saw it, I was like, oh, Eminem did say that shit.
That's crazy. No, I'm just looking at a generation of people who were introduced to bars that they don't know aren't this person.
But see, I'm the type of nigga who ain't just gonna settle like for that.
Yeah.
I do my research. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. However, no, I know you. However, I'm just thinking
a lot
of
of
the
people don't know the origins of certain shit.
Yeah, that just got introduced to shit who now like think the origin of something.
When all motherfuckers be sampling everything,
yeah,
anything that's
like,
the most original
everybody
shit.
think that somebody is original when all this shit.
Back that ass up is Juvenile.
Yes.
It's no one else but Juvenile. Do not tell me that it's no one else but that nigga.
Yes.
I'm not 100%.
Sorry.
Don't tell me that shit. I don't want to hear it. All these niggas are the same
for the 99 and the 2000s,
like,
nigga.
That's what it is.
Like,
it's fucking Tony. It's goddamn all these old niggas.
Yeah.
Like, nah, Guy.
It's crazy. Shawty, she was born in 93.
Mm.
I was born in 96.
I wrote the song in 94.
And if they hit the table one more time, then the record might skip. I
Told you, stop hitting the table.
A long time ago. A real long time ago.
Feel me?
It was the dopest song I ever wrote
In 94. Because you said Shawty put her in 93. I said,
This nigga.
you know what, I wrote this right?
I should have seen it coming. I know when your joke is coming. Your face because the smile come in first.
Oh, man.
The joke just like occurs to you. That's what it's like, then you come out with it.
Everything's a reference.
But it's alright. Motherfucking, yeah, though. I like it. I forgot what we was even talking about.
Fuck it.
That's the
Talk
have a
about
list of topics. I know we was talking about the lose, but I ain't.
I have to fucking kill these goddamn bugs in my life. So
I see them. I definitely see them. I thought they was just ants or something.
Oh, they ants.
Oh.
So I'm gonna kill these bitches when I get done.
Oh shit, they're going with it. I think they attracted to the light.
Yeah, that's all.
That's all it is.
And that shit was open. Them bitches were a bit burnt.
Yeah, they came out the woodwork. I did say what is it? Hindsight all the times. Talk vindication. Let's talk vindication. As a matter of fact, because there were times like what is it? I feel there's so much good happening for me in my life at this point, like and just you know. The positive energy that I've been exuding, or at least you feel like it. Maybe I'm somebody's bad guy, I'm sure, but like ultimately, I feel like a lot of the choices I've made, and the person that I've chosen to become, and chosen to like just staying true to myself, and learning that like motherfucking, like as long as you do that. You'll always be cool in the end. Like the way shit is working out now, and the world is changing, and it's all flowing towards the thought process. I just feel a lot of vindication in where we are now. However, I don't want to speak for you. Hence why I was saying let's talk vindication. Do you feel like you know it comes off as pompous, but there are people who like. I was talking to my nephew about this on the way here, just about like, cause I like where his mind is at. He's sure he's worried going forward. Like we all were when we was about to graduate high school and figure out what the rest of our life was gonna look like when it's in our hands, you know. But at least he's thinking about that at 16, and so cause a lot of people we've seen them. You get to high school, they were cool then, and they peak there, and like motherfucking. I remember those folks. I remember like not sharing the same qualities as those people. You know what I mean? And so that's what I mean, where the vindication is coming from. Do you feel a lot of that in your path now?
I was just talking to my dad about that before y'all came.
Ain't that about a bitch?
I was telling him how I feel very vindicated after my last situation, because I was really trying to figure out like what it is that I knew for myself was right, and I was right when I started that situation. I was right then, and I should have kept it that way, and I was right at the end of it.
Yeah,
because everything that I was trying to steer away from, I ended up putting myself in, and I knew better, but just wasn't listening to myself. The vindication came when, now months removed, seeing what that was and experiencing what I'm experiencing now, which is I'm fine, and I don't need you. I don't need that. I don't need those things that I was led to believe, you know. And the things that I'm getting now is exactly what I wanted for myself, and you have nothing to do with that, and you were wrong.
It comes so soon after you move it out the way too.
You were wrong about everything, and whatever your vindication may be on your side, I don't give a fuck. But the fact of the matter is that all those things that were put upon me from you was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
This is wrong, and you're not going to convince me otherwise. So I feel very vindicated in who I am now, and nowadays, and who I plan to be going forward. And there's really none. You fucking tell me, like that's what it is.
And having these experiences, like Malachi, for example, he has like I said, like we getting all older and stuff. Little man got his lady friend in his life, and I was mentioning to him at the dinner table. I was just like,
But I remember that one of the things you brought up this in the past few days was that just from even watching the other show is that you were looking at results other than intentions and whatnot. And I wanted to bring that up because even though how he was like arguing that point and you guys had similar points, I still think that despite that, no matter what the result is, intentions do matter because that's why apologies exist. Despite whatever result may have occurred, that could have just been a byproduct of someone's ignorance or just a misunderstanding or lack of communication. A lot of times those intentions do matter just as much as the result. Because if you're just focused on how everything ended, it wouldn't necessarily be a lot of things that you can ever like just consolidate upon with things or people. Because my intentions were never to offend you, hurt you, stab you in the back or whatnot. That goes more because you're gonna look at it like, okay, well, if that's the case, how I'm telling myself, and that's what the lady said in the show. How I'm telling myself, then that becomes what I'm telling myself becomes my own reality.
That's for me. That's more of a tolerance level for the person that is being apologized to. That being me, I'm like say, like I said, fool me once kind of guy. Like motherfucking it's like if you had intentions on doing one thing and it resulted in another way, then whether your intentions were good or not, you're clumsy with your stuff. And I mean, I would rather not have someone who's not tactful around. However, speaking of that show, I do want to say like the Joe Budden podcast had definitely inspired like a lot as far as growing up, and not growing up because I was introduced to Joe Budden through being a fan of DJ Academics, and when the Everyday Struggle began, they had their they had that show, and when they disbanded, I became part of Joe's audience because I wanted to hear more of his opinions. And so like seeing that how that the podcast has evolved and how it's ever changing and it's different forms, and just like Seamus on SSOHPKC on YouTube, but like Seamus, like we grew up with Seamus, and just watching how his life has changed and evolved.
That nigga is still the same to me.
I'm watching
that. Yo, I'm watching that Resident Evil joint.
I put a comment in his section like, yo, some of us have grown up with you. Like, do you know like that we've grown up with you?
I feel like every time I watch one of his videos, I feel like I'm right back in my own room. Like,
and he's like, but we've seen the changes in his life from the creatures to the showing himself on camera to not showing himself to the games he played to like the break he took and the just we understand like what and the changes in YouTube. And like him getting used to that, and you know what I'm saying. So like when I watched Joe Budden's journey in the podcast arena, it's like it is, if I'm to give him his flowers while he's here, paving a way and showing how the business is really looking and stuff. It's giving us an inside look while we're not inside.
Yeah.
And so like I just wanted to give them that shout out, that respect, because like I do know Like, I mean, it's 2021. We've seen a lot come, a lot go. And then with the reason their therapist is there now and everything, it's just, it lets us know as friends who know that part of that business model is the chemistry between real friends. And so watching that and learning how to navigate that and taking care of things properly early on so that we don't have to get to those things, or having a proper understanding rather early on so that we don't have to get to that point. It's just like, yeah, man. Kudos, thanks.
Yeah, facts. I know for me specifically, getting into podcasting was something that I did prior, and for me, like my initial influences was the Brilliant Idiots. It was Charlemagne and Andrew Schultz, because I just saw that and it was so new to me,
Right.
and I was just like, that's what that I saw that, and in that former capacity, however I saw it in, and trying out, it was definitely a lot of that, but then just like everything else. It evolved, and I realized like what the Brilliant Idiots introduced me to was podcasting. One version of it though.
Right.
Joe introduced me to a whole different version of it, where it wasn't so structured. It wasn't so I wouldn't say deliberate. It was definitely deliberate. It wasn't just confined. Like it felt a little bit more in depth and thought out. Conversation wise at least, and it wasn't just between this black guy and this white guy, a comedian and a radio host. It was between niggas.
Yeah, it wasn't like
and a white guy.
it wasn't given like some dynamic that was produced.
Yeah, it was not produced. That's perfect. It was not produced, and it gave it a more relaxed perspective.
Right.
It didn't feel so like forced sometimes.
Right.
And not saying, I didn't let it Brilliant Idiots, obviously, but to what Joe brought for me and his platforms was the honesty, the chemistry, was the content, the understanding and the knowledge, and just everything that he acquired and gained and began to just capitalize on is what, like you said, is what just got us here. The influence of all that. And like I said, we even tried to start our own little podcast and stuff like that at first.
Yeah, I was about to say that the whole naturally speaking thing that I had going on, like I think the first episode, my mom's in it, but like motherfucking, I thought, and in the second episode I did it alone. I thought that there would be a pathway to like just. People keep telling me I need to do something with my voice. And so, like, I'm like, all right, let me get heard. I rap, but let me speak. And so, I feel like I had an interest in mind and a lot of interesting topics. However, I brought myself to a point where I was like, sure, I have a lot of interesting things I could discuss by myself, which I do all the time.
You didn't bounce things off of people.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, but then how entertaining would that be? I'm a very serious guy when I'm alone.
Right.
So you're not going to hear me laughing and making jokes. You hear that here. And so, it's that, what word did I use earlier that was like the yin yang?
Karma?
More of a duality. That's the word. It's that duality that is necessary for this this chemistry to be created, this chemistry to be recorded.
Yeah.
You know?
And like you said, that whole, this is Joe in general, like and the things that he's created and the things that he's done, it's everything, like, and a lot of the avenues that I even saw myself dibble and dabble in, whether it been like talk shows or podcasting, or like in music a little bit, what I'm saying, you being a full rapper and shit, like it's all when you see someone who does what you do at that level, you see it and you then believe that you can do that now,
right,
and when you see it that way, it becomes more and more obtainable.
Yes.
Because now you understand how it's getting done and what it takes to get done, and you just start doing it.
That's the best part, though, the doing part. Like, when you get in it, there's no looking back.
Right.
Like, you're just in it. Like, in it when it starts to unfold and it's happening for you, it's like you feel like you remember a time when you thought that it wasn't attainable,
Right.
and you realize that it's easier when you just start.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to just get it done.
You got to do it.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
That action is going to is going to bring a reality to those feelings. You know, you can only feel it and imagine it for so long.
And if we're on the topic of the JBP,
Yeah.
The whole situation that they're going through, really, it was reminding me of me, you, and said other third nigga.
I definitely do. I was thinking about that. Our first
like-
episode, I was referencing our first episode in my mind, but I left that shit where it was at.
And like I thought about that shit, and I was like, damn. Like it was. It's literally that, and to this day, I feel like it's still some things that aren't like resolved,
Right.
in some degree. I just seen, you know, his mom today, like at church and everything, and she was like, oh, you know, he's gonna go see his, you know, his person, like, and everything. And I was like, oh, that's great, you know. And apparently he's gonna be getting his permit and stuff like that. Like I like hearing like these little updates.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'd rather be hearing it from him though.
Exactly. Like I feel like you're telling me because you don't want me to think away or something.
Yeah.
And it's like I always see him as my nigga. It's just you know, I've always not seen him
Right.
where I want to see him.
Exactly. And for me, it just runs a little deeper just because of our history and our relationship, where I feel like, and at a time where it was all three of us, and like that chemistry specifically, that's a whole thing in itself.
Imagine the episode with that dynamic. Like we gotta have that conversation.
Those nights when all three of us were together, it was this.
100%.
It was this. Like
100%.
That alone, like me and you are phenomenal.
I get that.
But that other element into
Yeah.
it, that makes it a whole separate thing.
That's why I'm saying, imagine that. That's
It's
a whole
crazy.
nother spice.
Right.
And the like, it shows the generational change and very much so just a respect for people. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can respect people. You could be you. Just be real.
Yeah.
That's the real definition of being real. Be you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you're being anybody else, you being fake. That's the definition of real for me. You ain't gotta be this, that, so on and so forth. Just be you, and you did it.
We like so. I bring that up because I want to know like your perspective nowadays on our like all three of our relationships and everything. Because the last thing I remember us talking about it was you were kind of on the side of like, you know, you were kind of like off of it because
I know what I was going to say.
Of your relationship with him, and it was how different it was between me and him, and between
Yeah.
you and him, and how you didn't feel necessarily too attached as much as I did.
Precisely.
To it. Like, what would you say like to that now? Like, is that still the same thing? Is it different? Like,
Yeah, I would have echoed those same sentiments. Like, and it's no hard feelings.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the reality of how my emotions work. I can't care about something for too long,
Yeah.
especially if it ain't got nothing to do with me.
right.
You know, and that all those feelings and stuff have nothing to do with me. You know, and so I kind of I've been living a long time without need for that, and
Yeah.
I've been fine. So like now as much as I don't feel and stuff, like I just said, no hard feelings. Like
There's
we
no
can-
malice. There's no
yeah,
malice.
we can have the conversation and kick it with, like I no problems there. I just I know as far what in my head there's what is there to reconcile? There's no drama.
Yeah.
You know, like it's nothing to me. I just time grows you apart when you don't spend much of it together and you don't share many interests. You know, like say if I don't find your jokes funny anymore, or you know, like
That'll be the day.
I mean, I can't. And I that's funny too. Earlier when in the last recording, I wonder if it caught it, but I caught myself laughing at a joke that I didn't find funny.
Yeah,
And it wasn't offensive or anything. It wasn't as funny to me, and then I realized that it's almost like a muscle memory thing to laugh at things, despite whether it's like that funny or not. Like it's just fun to laugh, and like I just caught that quick idiosyncrasy, but like ultimately, like yeah, just yeah, you if you don't share a lot of interest or kick it together a lot, then it's just like the chasing pussy with bitches type
Right.
thing that we was talking about. What's the point of you're wasting your time?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's where I'm coming from with it. Like, we older now. I don't even know the man anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
That's I kind of I feel.
That's him. Jerry Jerry Mouse. That ain't no, that ain't no mouse. It's probably a squirrel. I said it's a squirrel.
So I kind of
Son of a bitch.
I kind of feel like I echo that. I really don't even feel like I know him like I used to know him, just because it's been so long.
It's been so long, man.
And the conversations that me and you have, between the conversations me and him have had over like intervals of time, are just totally different. Like, and for me, it's now to the point where I could make the attempt to bring that relationship back. Like I said, it's no drama as far as I'm aware.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but at the same time, I had to look at it like, well, how much is he trying to get in contact with me?
Mm-hmm. It's a two-way street,
Because when I spoke to him last, it was through Facebook and everything, and I gave my number to him, like, yo, like, hit me up sometime. Hasn't since. No bad or no malice towards that, but that kind of just showed me like, okay, well, if you're that fine, without our relationship being anything, I can't do anything about that.
Right.
Despite how I may feel about it, or how, and sometimes I may want to have that just because of our history. You know what I mean? I can't do anything about that, and I say all that because the situation with, with the guys, I was like, there was a point in time where we were all talking and we were like trying to figure out what the fuck was wrong with him.
Right.
Like we were and I reflected on, I'm like, he probably felt real like on the spot and attacked.
Yes.
And like just put in a corner because we over here trying to like, but again
we're talking.
Right. And but our intentions were like, yo, you've been MIA, you ain't been speaking, you know what I'm saying, you've been distant. What's up? You've been ducking and dodging. Tell him what's up. Our intentions were trying to get our nigga, but the result was him like, nah, fuck y'all.
Nah, in our defense, though, because it's like the reverses are flipped as far as mindsets are concerned in the Joe Budden podcast and in this situation, right? Because when you called me on FaceTime, like the back to back, just so you could check to see if your camera was working, because it wasn't working, and I thought you had called me back to back, so I seemed like I snapped back. First of all, I love the fact that like we can talk to each other like niggas and not feel a way about it, or and if you do feel a way, you can come to each other about that.
Right.
But that's besides the point. The point I was making was the reason the important conversation I was having with Shawty at that time. I was telling her like, if you want to be in my life, the fear that I have about having people in my life is that they will hold me back, because mindsets and what people do. You show me your friends and I'll show you your future type shit. And I was telling her that because like I didn't want her to I wanted to ensure that she was the kind of person who had I don't want a comfortable mindset. What do you want for your life?
Right.
Because I see bigger things for my life, and I need you to believe that that is possible in order for me to even accept you into my circle.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so like with that kind of strict control over what kind of mindsets I allow to attach myself to, that wasn't a situation in which I was willing to attach myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that. I think, like I said, but in that moment though, for at least from what I saw from you, from my perspective, was that at that time specifically when like you were like kind of like we were on the same page a little bit about like wanting them like have like to be back.
I'm talking about now.
Yeah, nowadays. Yeah. Then though it was that cause then even then once you tried you then withdrew. You were like, all right, because I remember that specifically. Like, cause we were like trying to holler at him at the same thing. It was a whole group chat.
The most patient person.
Nigga, I think I still got that group chat of all of us in there talking. I think I still do.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
All them years back. And then there was at one point you were just like, all right, like ain't nothing else I could do. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all niggas figured that shit out. I'm over here like you know, still going.
At this point, like, listen, man, like.
But then again, it's like you also just want someone who just was willing to cooperate. Mm-hmm. And like I said, despite our best intentions and our mentality towards it, what's your intentions and your mentality too?
Right. Meet me halfway.
Because if you see that we're trying to establish some sort of like communication and common ground and figure out what the real issue is,
right, and
you're not doing your part to actually communicate that side too, then you're making it real difficult for all of us to come to some sort of agreement. And then now the result is going to be that you do you, and we're going to do us still.
Yeah.
Despite everything. And so I reflect on that, and I say all that to say that you know, like, at the end of the day, I still love that nigga.
Of course, it's family.
It's no hard feelings, and I always wish him the best. But my optimistic mind is always just like, shit could have just always been different.
It could have.
Shit always could have been differently. Things could have been said differently. People could have, like, looked at things differently, whatever the case may be.
So much could be different if things didn't go the way they went. And I'm not just referencing that. I'm just talking in life in general. I told you on the balcony, I was reminiscing just on the journey after getting out of college and kind of coming back home and, finding my way and shit. And just like, especially just, it's been a half decade now that I been out here. And I was just looking at the turbulence and the years and what caused this and what caused that, the leaving jobs and this, that, so on and so forth. And it's easy to wean out the bad times, but I was looking at what good came out of those experiences rather, and what I learned from those failures and why I failed. I can't even, when I look at them now, I can't even call them failures. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Lessons.
They're lessons. And so, while when we discuss these things, while they can come off as unfortunate, I always see it as what was necessary.
Definitely.
Well, it was all necessary. It didn't belong, it belonged the way it is.
Yeah, and that's something I've been kind of having. That's one of those things, at least for this specific situation that we're talking about, I've kind of had like a hard time like wrapping my head around. Mm-hmm. Is that maybe it was meant to go that way. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like this was meant. Mm-hmm. It's hard for me to accept that was meant.
Yeah, because that's what you knew.
And that's what I started with.
Yeah.
And like we always say, when we got into the picture together, nigga, we ain't fuck with each other.
Not at all.
We ain't expecting this to go nowhere. But now look at us.
Not at all.
Jerry Bird.
I'm saying?
But it's like, when I think about that, though, it's like, man.
Jerry Bird.
Like, and it's it made it a little bit more real when that same day when we was driving and like we seen him.
It was surreal.
It was like, yo, like maybe it was supposed to be like that. And despite
that's crazy.
Despite how I feel, or despite my best efforts,
driving past the same house we all met each other in,
and it's all the way different. And maybe that is how it should have gone down, and that this in our lives as much as we could have been together, maybe it wasn't meant for that thing to be together.
Right.
I'm saying that and now I'm thinking like that's easier to accept with bitches than it is with like your niggas. Like damn, it hurts more with your niggas. Like
I wouldn't know.
That
only because like what is it? I've never been attached to anybody in my life except for my family. Mm-hmm. Like I mean I've had cousins that like I got a cousin You wanna? Yeah, I got that. I grew up like I met when I was a little kid, and they had us playing together and stuff, and that was my favorite cousin, and we was like best buds and stuff. We grow up, we getting older, and I like I visit their crib and whatnot, and I'm like hang out with this man, and I just realize how different we are. Like I know I'm a different type person than this person, and we just.
And I think that, and like you said, that's I think that's what it's kind of come down to now, and I think we still share like a lot of like similar interests, but like I said, the mentality, and like the lifestyle. You know, I learned while doing door to door, you want to be around like-minded people.
What I say?
And we're like-minded.
Yeah.
We're our individual selves, but we have determination, drive, motivation to do just a little bit more.
Yeah.
We're not necessarily satisfied with things. We're happy, but we're not necessarily satisfied.
100%.
In that situation, I don't think there's too much of that. Not to at least a degree in which I'd feel comfortable being around.
Right, because it's demotivating.
Yeah, and I feel like then I'll have to exert myself to get you to where my head is. And I'm not doing that.
Right.
Because we're all men.
Exactly.
And no matter what kind of life or lifestyle you choose to live, we're men and we have responsibilities and shit to do.
You know what I'm saying?
Shit to do.
Get busy.
We have to do something. I don't give a fuck what you need to do.
Get
something.
busy, man. You can't be out here just out here.
You can't.
Flaking.
Ass in the wind.
You know what I'm saying? Flaking, ass in the wind. Just the terms, but you know,
flaky
like,
ass in the wind.
What? Nah.
Go ahead.
I just when you said that, I see like
picture the flaky ass.
Yeah,
Flakes with the wind.
Fucking dry ass butt cheeks. It just terrible.
Like get some lotion.
I see it.
Ass.
But yeah, man, 100%. Like you learn that. Like you get into manhood and you just kind of, it's on you now, man. Like I can't live your life for you. I can't father you. I can't learn you the things that you laid on. Like you know what I'm saying? I gotta care too much.
Yeah.
And I ain't got it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was telling Shorty. I was like, yo, like, I learned that I have the capacity to care for anybody.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna choose who I'm gonna have that capacity
because it
for.
can be exhausting.
And it will be exhausting. and at that point, you have to prove it to me that you're worth me fulfilling that part of me, because otherwise I'm gonna regret it a lot.
Exactly.
And I will grow to resent you if I feel like.
And then you're gonna make it harder for the people and for me to accept people that are good for me in the future.
In the future, where like someone deserves my my sympathy, my empathy, and my caregivingness and my consideration. Like that person would need that more than you.
And I turn them away.
And I turn them away.
Yeah, I'm stuck.
Because now I'm thinking like
I'm jaded.
Yeah, like oh man, all these bitches is just gonna fucking take my shit, you know, my kindness for weakness type time, and it's like I don't want to deal with that, and now I'm guarded. Now I'm just like, all right, bitch, like prove it to me first, cause you ain't about to get all this.
That's what we dealing with in love. I realized I coined it the Mike Jones effect, right? Where
back then they did love it.
Now I'm hot, they all on me. Like I got it. That's what's been going on with this whole vengeance or like just. And it's over now. Like I'm now that I've realized it, and that being half the battle, like I can mature past that. But it was the Mike Jones syndrome, where like you know you was used to not getting as much attention from the ladies and shit, like or they wouldn't they wouldn't be as receptive. Started from the bottom there. We gonna get there. But till then, Jerry Mouse.
Keep going.
But yeah. Damn, where was I at?
I don't know.
He said, I tell you. You was at it. He said, I tell you. I had to get my buddies to listen in. You was at the whole time. But motherfucker, I wonder if the audio picked that shit up.
I hope it didn't. I hope it didn't.
That'd be hilarious. But motherfucker, Hey, if you listen.
I don't want to listen.
Exactly.
I don't want to listen to this.
Motherfucker, what'd he do? I said, what'd he do?
Like a comedy.
I'm raw, just like a red meat.
You go against me, and you're dead meat. I'm me. Like an instant
message. This nigga play too much.
Oh shit!
Whole serious topic out the window.
It's
over for that.
Yeah, you want to call it right here?
Yeah.
We were going for
Shoot,
a minute.
and if anything, we ended up recording later. And it's we got it.
Yeah.
We can call it.
Yeah, that was straight. That was straight. Goddamn. Hell yeah.
Audio version. Oh yeah, we didn't address the fact that we did the video. Goddamn, if you do want to get the full audio, you had to come here to, or come to SoundCloud to listen to it, being as though like the video kind of.
You'll see it.
Yeah.
If you made it this far,
you'll see it. You know what
you would have
happened.
seen it.
You know what happened.
But if you want to get
to a little bit,
if you want to get to that part in between where there was any visuals and come back and forth, do what you gotta do. But just know the full audio version is on SoundCloud right now. So if you want to go check that out, go check that shit out.
Bet. That being said, Jerry Birds, man.
We out, bitch.